their feet as a servant. He was Jesus redirects the sorrow of the disciples, his followers, his friends, who were filled with sorrow and fear, and redirects them to begin to understand the power that was going to be coming to them to be involved and challenged to transform the world. Now, throughout the Easter season, we're continually drawn to stories about the risen Jesus offering pastoral care to his disciples. He walks along with them on the road to Emmaus. They are troubled. They'd hoped that he would redeem Israel. They really had thought that this was going to be the Messiah in the way they expected a Messiah to behave. And he was there to help them understand that a risen life had power to redeem Israel, but not in the way that they envisioned. And then help them to see that they were going to be given the power to take this good news to others. He cooked a breakfast for them along the seashore, the shore of the lake, and they became known to him in the breaking of bread. He understood their needs for physical nurture and nutrition, but they were also able to see who he was by the breaking of bread, which is why we do that every Sunday, to remember who he was in the breaking of bread. So in a simple act of hospitality, when he feeds them, he shows how deeply he cares for them. And we know how deeply he cares for all of us. Now, Thursday was the Feast of the Ascension. And yet, because we know that we don't come to very many weekday events, most churches have moved the feast recognition and celebration to the next Sunday. So we missed you on Thursday. None of us were here, but we would have welcomed you on Wednesday. We do have Wednesday evening prayer at 6:30 in the chapel, and we've had a number of people who've joined us recently. We'd love to have you come join us as well. If you're unable, check us out on the Facebook page. I think it also transfers over to our YouTube channel, and you can see evening prayer on Wednesday evening at 6:30. But as I said, because we don't often worship in this congregation during the week, we have moved the Feast of the Ascension till today. Now, the major feasts of the church year are primarily used by us as a time of reflection. We meditate on those occasions, but I think we miss the intense and immediate feelings that are often very raw and painful emotions during the actual event. When we meditate and reflect on that occasion of the ascension of Jesus, time and cultural distance has separated us and softened perhaps the reality of that initial experience. The event described by his followers, and that would be, it was described most clearly in Acts. Luke recalls this. Acts is sort of the sequel to the Gospel of Luke. Luke recounts this ascension event. The event described by the followers was not some mystical imagining, but it was real, tangible, physical, touchable, talking, flesh and blood experience. Imagine the shock, the confusion, even the doubting of your sanity in seeing Jesus lifted up into heaven, to the point that he becomes hidden, taken into a cloud. They have just heard that their beloved, crucified, but risen teacher has explained how much he loves them, how much they must do to honor his memory. Then he tells them that he must permanently leave this place, this time, this life. Suddenly, he's lifted up, taken up, ascended, received into the cloud. If I had been there, and seen that, what would I think or feel? Would I have lifted my hand and waved? Bye. Or would I have just stood in stunned silence or screamed out, no, 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 don't go. Don't leave us all alone. We just were beginning to understand, and we still don't understand. Don't go. When we must let someone go, someone we love, I think we try to focus on the peace and joy that our beloved now experiences in an afterlife. But in our natural state, we want to hold on and cling tight and never let go. The Ascension is a shocking feast of surrender, of being left behind, of letting go of the other. They're going where they cannot take us. It takes us a great deal of courage to risk this new dimension of living without the loved one. Additionally, Jesus has told them what they must do. He's given the disciples the Great Commission: go into all the world, preaching the gospel of good news. And this is for me that as a human person, I can be in full communion and companionship with God and live in God's love in creation. I might describe it as we are saved. We are freed from selfish limitations. We are healed from brokenness and isolation, solitary. Now, Bishop John Shelby Spong wrote that when we look at stories in the Bible, we should not be asking, is it true? Or, how did it happen? We should rather say, what did it mean then? And why does it matter now? The Ascension matters because our work is not done on earth. We learn more about the work of Jesus in his prayer for the disciples and us in the gospel reading today. He says, and now I am no longer in the world, but they are in the world,